Welcome to Coffee and Popcorn, where we bring you the most striking stories from around the world. In today's Reddit story, we have a man who's been married to his wife for over a decade, but recently her behavior's changed drastically and there seems to be a new friend in her life. Is OP correct for suspecting his wife, or is it all in his head? Get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
I'm 39 years old and I've been married to my wife for 12 years, and she's 39. In total, we've been together for 18 years. We live in the suburbs, in a house that we're renovating. We both have good jobs and are involved in our community at a volunteer level. While we don't have any kids, we do have a cat, and earlier in the year we were trying for a baby, which is going to make what follows even more strange. Just like all other marriages, we've had our ups and downs. We don't usually argue, and in the 18 years we've been together, I can recall maybe 5 or 6 arguments. I felt like the last 2 to 3 years of our relationship have been the best, but that's just my opinion. We've been doing more things together, communicating better, and having a lot of fun in the bedroom. I clearly took my eyes off the ball though, because 3 months ago she suddenly wanted space, but didn't go into detail about what she meant by that. Over the following weeks, her behavior slowly started to change. At first I ignored it, but I was just in denial. She no longer used term of endearments, but calls me by my name, which is super weird. I noticed that she started drinking more alcohol, and one night she came home and vomited. I found evidence of this later. In the 18 years we've been together, this is unprecedented. Whenever she used to send me a message or email, she'd always end it with hugs and kisses, but this stopped too. She slowly stopped getting involved in anything I do, but she's never communicated why. These days, she spends more time on her phone, and she's become very protective of it, which I know is a big red flag in the world of Reddit. In the past, she would go crazy if I did this, but now she's on her phone all the time. I also believe she's hidden her screen from me when we're sitting side by side. Our physical interactions, such as having hugs and kisses, has gone down to a minimum, like a tap slowly being turned off. When she started kissing me on the cheek, I knew something was really wrong. She started going big on her makeup and face grooming routine, which I think was prompted by a female friend. However, the timing's interesting. The biggest issue is, she's never properly communicated to me that something was wrong, so our relationship just deteriorated. It got to the point that after 2 months, I had to beg her to tell me what was going on. She told me that we're growing apart and that we have different life goals, something I still disagree with to this day. She said that she's felt like this for 3.5 years but tried to stay positive. Now that she's nearly 40, she's let it be known that she wanted to have kids years ago, which makes no sense since we haven't even tried properly. It's not going to happen overnight. Another issue that we're having is that I'm training for a law enforcement job, and I don't think she likes the idea of being the wife of someone who could be hurt in the line of duty. I basically told her that I'm willing to give it up if it's a deal breaker. Essentially, those 2 issues could be resolved immediately. Ultimately, she asked me for space. She wanted 2 weeks of separation, which she said would be good for her. I decided to move out, and that was the last time I slept in my own bed. That was 38 days ago. Now here's an important bit of information. 14 years ago, before we were engaged, she cheated on me, but nobody knows this except us. And the other party, of course. I decided to forgive her, but not forget. But I've never spoken about it since, and was willing to take it to my grave. After 5 weeks of separation, I moved back home, but stayed in the guest bedroom, which is where I am right now. We had another chat, and I basically told her that if there's someone else, I understand, and that if she wants a divorce, I also understand, even though I don't agree with it. She told me there's no one else, and straight up said that she doesn't want a divorce and that she still loves me. She then goes on to say that we married too young, when she was the one that wanted to be married from day one. I feel like she's trying to rewrite history. She feels like she's missed out on things and experiences and doesn't want to be accountable to anyone, which are massive red flags to me. She states that she sacrificed her dreams for what we have, but doesn't go into any detail. Honestly, the whole thing makes no sense without clear communication from her. Throughout this ordeal, we've not had a single fight. I've stayed calm, clear in my communication, and if she did something that was odd or negative, such as coming home 4 hours late from work, which has now become pretty common, I would make dinner and save it for her, no questions or complaints from me. I explained that I'm willing to step up and be a better husband, although it's hard to know what else I can do when I'm already giving it 120%. I've probably been too nice, but it's hard to know how to maneuver when you don't have all the facts in front of you. Being at home is like walking on eggshells. Imagine living with a roommate who doesn't talk to you, doesn't ask how you are, and actively avoids you. It's unbelievable that things are at this point, but here we are. Lastly, the other week I found a card in her handbag. I know I breached her privacy, but I didn't have many other options. This card was another piece of this crazy jigsaw puzzle. The card was unsigned and undated, which is interesting in itself. I believe it came from a female coworker, but what bothers me is that they seem to have more information at hand than I do. I don't remember the exact words, but it was along the lines of, "I know you've been down lately as you are mourning your future life. Don't blame yourself. Don't put all the blame on your shoulders. You're worth loving." There are other things I could talk about, but I'll stop here. I don't want things to end, but if they do, there's nothing I can do about it. I love my wife, and I would jump into a fire for her. However, I don't think she cares anymore. Her actions speak volumes. Do you think there could be someone else? I don't understand how someone could change that quickly when they're your soulmate. Her rapid change in behavior is hard to believe. Despite everything, I'm still smiling. I have a roof over my head, a job, and I'm fit and healthy, so it could be worse. I just want the truth. Before I sign off, I'll share with you a message I got from her. It may be the key to what's going on. It's addressed to me, but I've changed location details. "Hi, husband. A strange thing happened the other day. My pen pal said he's heading overseas for holiday and is going to England. I flippantly said England's a nice place to visit, then got a screenshot showing that he booked a flight. He's coming to the US, but traveling around. I'd like to catch up with him. Who knows if our paths will cross again. Hope you don't mind. Kiss, kiss." This could explain her behavior with her phone. This person lives on the other side of the world but is taking a 7,000-mile detour for this. He's been her pen pal since before we met, however, the timing's incredible. Is this a long-distance emotional affair? Is that even a thing?
The way OP describes his marriage sounds like what a lot of relationships are like during their final days. It's remarkable that his wife wasn't able to communicate how she felt, especially since she's felt this way for over 3 years. For the life of me, I can't understand why adults can't communicate effectively. So much time gets wasted because of this. It sounds like OP's wife has mentally checked out of the marriage, but probably doesn't want to outright leave because of all the investments they have together, such as the home. I can assure OP, long-distance emotional affairs are a thing, and social media's made such things super easy. And for his wife to come home 4 hours late on a regular basis might suggest that she's hooking up with a coworker or really doesn't want to be home. I once knew a guy who would come into work an hour early just so he could hook up with another colleague. Naturally, he was married and his wife never suspected a thing. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments to see what's being said.
Fookie says, "There are so many red flags. My soon-to-be ex-wife did exactly what you described also around the same age. From the grooming, the distance, and lack of affection. She checked out of our relationship and poured all her energy into her affair partner. She came alive again, and her sexuality was awakened by the other guy. She used to tell me that her medication made her libido low. What a huge lie that was. She used the line, 'I need to find myself,' while the whole time she was having an affair. Trust your gut. Your intuition's screaming at you. I would have dreams that she was cheating before I found out. Our mind and body know what's going on before our brains can process it." Medium Corner says, "Same story for me too. All it took was someone other than me to give her attention and pursue her. She played all the hits. I would never do that to you. I swear, nothing is going on. I just need some space. I still love you." And the platinum single, "I love you, but I don't love you like that anymore." Never once did she say anything was wrong or that something was missing after 19 years of marriage and 3 kids. I tried to fight for us at first, but once I found evidence and she admitted to it, I told her to not come back. This was the closest thing to hell I can think of. Betrayal trauma is real. Stay strong in front of her and don't beg for her back. Start prioritizing yourself because she's already checked out of your relationship. Start thinking about the positives in a future without her. It will hurt, so let it hurt. Go to therapy. You will get through this and become stronger for it.
Many of these stories are useful to others who are going through something similar. There will be loads of people who see themselves in a situation that resembles this, so learn from the people around you so you can look out for the red flags in your relationship. I hope things work out for OP, as dealing with a sensitive situation like this is never easy. Now, as I was just about to let you all go, during the making of this video, OP shared an update with us regarding his story. Let's listen to how things developed.
I just would like to say a big thank you for those who took the time to respond to my original post. Although I didn't reply to all of you, I greatly value your comments. About the time I posted on Reddit, my wife told me that she would be traveling to another city over the weekend. She didn't tell me anything other than that. The day she was leaving, I asked for more details about her weekend trip. Suddenly, it became a week. Again, no other details were given. She took an Uber to the airport, which I found out by looking at our home CCTV before I got home. She knows my work schedule and knew that I wouldn't be around to ask any questions. I don't want to say where she went, but if you're in the USA, it's the equivalent of traveling to Aspen from Kansas. Basically, you go there to have a good time in the snow. Today, I was able to confirm that she's with the pen pal she was messaging. I also have proof that he was in our city for a number of weeks recently, which explains her late nights and not needing dinner. This gun just won't stop smoking. This appears to be an international affair, months in the making. This takes betrayal to a whole new level, and I can't see how she thinks she'll walk away from this smelling like roses. Or maybe she doesn't care. I don't think she knows that I know, but I figured it all out. Anyway, it is what it is. I've already got it out of my system, so I'm not sad or angry. I'm actually looking forward to the future.
This update wasn't surprising at all. People underestimate how much social media has changed the world of dating. We've long since left the era in which people could only cheat with those they had quick or immediate access to. These days, anyone from anywhere in the world can infiltrate your relationship. All they need to do is send your partner a message on any social media platform they can be found on. It seems like OP's made his peace with this situation, so let's check out what's being said in the comments.
Average Joe says, "Well, OP, it looks like it's time to start your divorce. Try to not rock the boat and start it ASAP. Keep collecting evidence and documents, even if it doesn't have an impact on your divorce, but just in case she tries to twist the narrative and paint you as the devil incarnate. Work with your lawyer and do not face her until you have everything in place and ready to file. You have to protect yourself first." Stickman says, "I totally recommend that you don't react to her at all. Even if she says she is going somewhere, act like no craps are given. Don't even ask a single question. When she returns, don't ask anything at all. Actually, you should have something else to do. This will bother her more than anything. Let this new thing she has going on blow up in her face, which almost 100% does."
If OP's looking to end this marriage, he should do so rocking as few boats as possible so his wife won't fight back too much. In any case, it seems like OP's got a plan, so we can only wish him the best as he moves on with his life. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.